When you sit before the Gohonzon and begin to chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, something extraordinary happens. Your voice fills the room, and with each repetition, you're not just making sound. You're creating ripples that touch something much deeper, a connection between the small world inside you and the vast universe that surrounds everything. This isn't poetry or mystical thinking. It's the actual awakening of your Buddha nature, the moment when the microcosm of your life aligns perfectly with the macrocosm of existence itself. Think about a single drop of water for a moment. On its own, it seems tiny and insignificant. But that drop contains the same essential nature as the entire ocean. It has wetness, it flows, it reflects light, all the qualities that make water what it is. Your life works the same way. Inside you exists the same fundamental nature that runs through everything in the universe. When you chant with genuine faith that the Gohonzon reflects your own life, you're recognizing this truth. You're not praying to something outside yourself. You're awakening to what has always been within you. Nichiren Daishonin explained this relationship with powerful clarity when he wrote, "The universe is itself the 3,000 realms in a single moment of life, and a single moment of life is itself the universe." This statement demolishes the imaginary wall we build between ourselves and everything else. There is no separation. Your heartbeat echoes the rhythm of distant stars. Your thoughts ripple outward like waves across an endless ocean. When you understand this, truly understand it in your bones, chanting becomes something completely different from repeating words. The Lotus Sutra teaches us that the true aspect of all phenomena exists right now, in this moment, exactly as things are. This doesn't mean that suffering isn't real, or that problems don't exist. It means that within every situation, no matter how dark or difficult, the seed of enlightenment waits. Your Buddha nature isn't something you need to create or earn. It's already there, like gold buried beneath layers of dirt. Chanting with faith in the Gohonzon is how you dig through those layers. But what does it really mean to chant with faith that the Gohonzon reflects your own life? It's easy to say the words, but the depth of this faith transforms everything. When you look at the Gohonzon, you're not looking at a separate entity that will grant wishes if you pray hard enough. You're looking at a mirror, a perfect reflection of your Buddha nature. The characters and symbols inscribed on it represent the fundamental law of the universe, and that same law flows through your veins with every breath you take. Imagine standing between two mirrors that face each other. The reflections go on forever, endlessly repeating. This is similar to the relationship between your life and the Gohonzon. Your faith is reflected in the Gohonzon, and the Gohonzon's power is reflected in your life. Nichiren Daishonin wrote, "If you think the law is outside yourself, you are embracing not the mystic law, but an inferior teaching." This challenges us directly. Are we really embracing the mystic law, or are we still thinking of it as something external, something we need to beg for? Microcosm and macrocosm aren't two separate things that come together during chanting. They've always been one. Your individual life, with all its worries about money, relationships, health, and purpose, is already part of the infinite life of the universe. But we forget this. We get caught up in daily struggles and start seeing ourselves as small, limited, powerless. We build walls between me and everything else. Chanting breaks down these walls brick by brick. When Shakyamuni Buddha sat beneath the Bodhi tree, he awakened to this very truth. He realized that he and all living beings possessed the Buddha nature. In the Lotus Sutra, he declares, "The wisdom of the Buddhas is infinitely profound and immeasurable." But then he goes further, explaining that this wisdom exists within every person. You don't need to be special or holy, you already have it. The question is whether you'll awaken to it or continue sleeping through your life. This awakening doesn't happen all at once, like flipping a light switch. It's more like watching the sunrise. First, there's just darkness. Then a faint glow appears on the horizon. Colors emerge gradually. Birds begin singing. The world slowly reveals itself as light spreads across the land. Your Buddha nature awakens the same way through consistent practice. Each time you chant, you're adding to the light. Each moment of genuine faith strengthens your connection to the infinite life force that powers everything. The universe operates according to laws, not punishments or rewards handed down by a cosmic judge, but natural principles like cause and effect. When you drop a stone into a pond, ripples spread outward. You didn't create the law that makes this happen. You simply activated it. Chanting Nam-myoho Renge-kyo works similarly. You're not begging the universe to change its rules for you. You're aligning yourself with those rules, harmonizing your life with the fundamental rhythm of existence. Nichiren Daishonin taught, never seek this Gohonzon outside yourself. The Gohonzon exists only within the mortal flesh of us ordinary people who embrace the Lotus Sutra and chant Nam-myoho Renge-kyo. This is radical teaching. It means the power doesn't come from the object you're facing. The power comes from your faith, your determination, your willingness to believe that you and the universe are not separate. The Gohonzon serves as a focal point, a mirror that helps you see what's already inside you. Think about how a magnifying glass works. It doesn't create fire. The sun's energy is already there, warming everything, but the glass focuses that scattered energy into a single point, and suddenly you have flame. Your faith in the Gohonzon works like that magnifying glass. The power of the universe is already flowing through you, but it's scattered, unfocused, weak. When you chant with deep faith, you gather that power into a concentrated force that can transform your life. The awakening of Buddha nature isn't about becoming someone different. It's about becoming fully yourself, your truest, most complete self. All the limitations you've accepted as permanent facts about who you are start to look less solid. That voice in your head that says I can't or I'm not good enough loses its authority. You begin to tap into courage, wisdom, and compassion that you didn't know you possessed. These qualities were always there, waiting for you to claim them. The Lotus Sutra uses the parable of the gem in the robe to explain this. A poor man visits a rich friend who gives him a valuable jewel by sewing it into his robe while he sleeps. The poor man leaves without knowing about the jewel and continues to struggle in poverty. Years later, his friend meets him and reveals the treasure that was hidden all along. You've been wealthy this entire time, the friend explains. You just didn't know it. Your Buddha nature is that hidden jewel. Chanting helps you discover it. When we talk about aligning the microcosm with the macrocosm, we're describing a state where your individual desires and actions flow in harmony with the universe's fundamental creative force. This doesn't mean you lose your identity or become absorbed into some formless void. It means you stop fighting against the current of life and learn to move with it skillfully. You're still completely yourself, but now you're yourself at full power, connected to infinite resources. Ancient Buddhist teachings compare this to the relationship between waves and the ocean. Each wave has its own shape, height, and movement. You can point to a specific wave and say, that's a wave. But can you separate the wave from the ocean? Can you take the wave away and have it exist independently? No. The wave is ocean, and the ocean is wave. They're different expressions of the same water. Your life is like that wave, distinct and individual, yet inseparable from the vast ocean of universal life. Nichiren Daishonin wrote, Myo means to revive, that is, to return to life. Each time you chant, you're reviving your connection to your Buddha nature. You're bringing yourself back to life in the deepest sense. Modern life pulls us in 1,000 directions, fragmenting our attention and energy. We forget who we really are beneath all the roles we play and masks we wear. Chanting brings us back to center, back to the core truth of our existence. The faith required for this practice isn't blind belief. It's experiential faith that grows through practice. At first, you might chant because someone told you it works or because you're desperate for change. That's fine. That's where everyone starts. But as you continue, you begin noticing shifts. Small things at first. You handle a difficult conversation better than you normally would, or you feel calmer during a stressful situation. These experiences build your faith. You start to trust the process because you've seen the results in your own life. This awakening doesn't make you perfect or solve every problem instantly. Buddha nature isn't about escaping human life. It's about engaging with life more fully, with greater wisdom and compassion. You still get angry, sad, and frustrated. The difference is that these emotions don't control you the way they once did. You can feel them fully and then let them go. You develop resilience and flexibility, bending with life's challenges instead of breaking under their weight. The macrocosm of the universe contains everything. All the stars and planets, all the atoms and energy, all the possible forms existence can take. It's infinite, timeless, boundless. The microcosm of your life contains that same infinity compressed into a single point. Every emotion you feel, every thought you think, every choice you make echoes throughout the universe. You matter more than you can possibly imagine. Your life has cosmic significance. Chanting with faith in the Gohonzon awakens you to this reality. Shakyamuni Buddha taught that all phenomena are without permanent self. Nothing exists independently or unchangingly. Everything is connected to everything else in an infinite web of relationships. When you truly grasp this, it changes how you see yourself and others. You realize that harming others is harming yourself because there's no real separation. Helping others is helping yourself for the same reason. The boundaries we draw between self and other are useful for daily life, but they're not ultimately real. Nichiren Daishonin emphasized this in his teaching about the oneness of life and environment. Your environment, the people around you, your circumstances, even the physical world, isn't separate from your inner life. They reflect each other. Change happens from the inside out. When your inner life transforms through chanting and awakening your Buddha nature, your external environment begins to shift as well. New opportunities appear. Relationships improve. Doors that seemed locked suddenly open. The process of alignment between microcosm and macrocosm happens naturally when conditions are right. You provide those conditions through faith and practice. It's like planting a seed. You can't force the seed to sprout by pulling on it. You can only provide good soil, water, and sunlight. The seed does the rest according to its own nature. Your Buddha nature is that seed. The Gohonzon is the sunlight. Your faith and chanting are the water and soil. Growth happens naturally when all these elements come together. Sometimes people wonder why they need to chant if Buddha nature is already within them. If the jewel is already sewn into the robe, why search for it? The answer is that potential must be actualized. A seed contains the potential for a mighty tree, but without water and light, it remains dormant. Your Buddha nature is the same way. It needs to be awakened, activated, brought forth through conscious effort and practice. The rhythm of chanting itself has significance. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo isn't random syllables. Each sound vibrates with meaning and power. When you chant, you're not just thinking about these concepts intellectually. You're embodying them with your voice, your breath, your whole being. The vibration of the words resonates through your body and ripples outward into the world. This is why chanting aloud is important. You're physically participating in the awakening, not just mentally considering it. Ancient texts describe the universe as being in constant motion, constantly creating and recreating itself. Birth and death, expansion and contraction, darkness and light, all of existence pulses with this rhythm. When you chant, you sync up with that cosmic rhythm. Your individual heartbeat merges with the heartbeat of existence itself. This is the alignment, the harmony, the awakening that transforms everything. Your Buddha nature has always been perfect and complete. It wasn't damaged by your mistakes or diminished by your suffering. Like a mirror covered in dust, it simply needs to be revealed. Chanting is how you wipe away the dust. With each Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, you clear away a bit more of the delusion and negativity that obscures your true nature. Little by little, your original brightness shines through. This isn't about becoming somebody else or reaching some distant goal. It's about becoming fully present to who you already are at your deepest level. The universe isn't something far away in space. It's right here, right now, in this very moment. The macrocosm exists completely within each moment of your life. When you chant with faith that the Gohonzon reflects your own life, you're acknowledging this profound truth. You're saying yes to your Buddha nature. You're choosing to wake up rather than stay asleep. And in that choice, in that moment of genuine faith, the microcosm and macrocosm align, and your Buddha nature awakens to transform everything.